demanded the death of my daughter. Now face justice yourself.
I didn't know she was your...
In the quiet, tree-lined streets of Willow Creek, a suburban enclave in Virginia, a storm was brewing. It was October, and the air was crisp with the promise of Halloween. My daughter, Lily, a vibrant 16-year-old with a knack for creativity, had spent weeks transforming our front yard into a haunted spectacle. Fake tombstones, glowing jack-o'-lanterns, and eerie fog machines turned our modest lawn into a spooky masterpiece. Little did we know, this display would ignite a battle that would shake our community to its core, pitting a power-hungry HOA president against an unsuspecting teenager and her father, a federal judge. I'm Judge Thomas Bennett, though to the folks of Willow Creek, I was just Tom, the guy who coached Little League and kept to himself. For 20 years, I've presided over cases in the Eastern District of Virginia's federal courthouse, but I kept my profession private to shield my family from scrutiny. Lily, my only child, was my pride and joy. Her Halloween decorations were a testament to her artistic spirit, a playful nod to the holiday she loved. "Dad, isn't this the creepiest graveyard ever?" she grinned, adjusting a plastic skeleton hand poking out of the dirt. I chuckled from the porch. "You've outdone yourself, kiddo. The neighbors won't know what hit him." Enter Patricia Coleman, the 55-year-old HOA president of Willow Creek. Known for her iron grip on the neighborhood's aesthetic, Patricia was the kind of person who'd measure your grass with a ruler and fine you for a mailbox that wasn't regulation white. She strutted down our street, clipboard in hand, her lips pursed like she'd just tasted sour milk. "What is this?" she barked, gesturing at Lily's decorations as if they were a biohazard. "Halloween decorations, Mrs. Coleman," Lily replied, her voice polite but puzzled. "I made them myself." "Disgraceful," Patricia snapped. "This morbid nonsense is scaring children and tanking property values." I stepped off the porch, keeping my tone calm. "Patricia, it's just Halloween fun." Lily worked hard on this. But Patricia wasn't listening. "This is a family neighborhood, not a horror show. I'm reporting this to the HOA." Lily's face fell, her excitement replaced by confusion. I put a hand on her shoulder. "Don't worry, sweetheart. It's just decorations." 3 days later, Patricia summoned the neighborhood to an emergency HOA meeting at the Willow Creek Community Center. The room buzzed with confusion as residents shuffled in, unsure why they'd been dragged out on a chilly Tuesday night. Patricia stood at the podium, her face grim, like she was addressing a national crisis. "Ladies and gentlemen," she declared, "we face a grave threat to our community's safety and values." She clicked a remote, and photos of Lily's decorations flashed on a screen. Tombstones, cobwebs, a glowing skull. Gasps rippled through the crowd. "This," Patricia continued, her voice dripping with venom, "is the work of Lily Bennett, a disturbed teenager who's turned her yard into a shrine of death." Mrs. Larson, a kind retiree who'd baked cookies for Lily's school fundraisers, raised her hand. "Patricia, they're just Halloween decorations. My grandkids love them." Patricia's eyes narrowed. "Love them? These are symbols of violence. This girl is clearly unhinged." I stood, my voice steady but firm. "Patricia, my daughter made those for fun. There's nothing dangerous here." "Fun?" Patricia scoffed, clicking to a close-up of a tombstone labeled R.I.P. John Coleman. The room froze. John, Patricia's husband, shifted uncomfortably in the back. "That's not my name on there," he mumbled. "It's just a prop." "Silence, John," Patricia hissed. She turned to the crowd, her voice rising to a fever pitch. "This is a death threat against my family. Lily Bennett is planning murder." Lily, sitting beside me, started to cry. "I just picked random names, Dad. I didn't mean anything by it." I squeezed her hand. "I know, honey." But Patricia was relentless. "This girl is a psychopath. She's plotting to kill us all, starting with my husband." Mr. Alvarez, a neighbor who'd always been friendly, stood up. "Patricia, you're blowing this out of proportion. It's a kid's Halloween project." Patricia whirled on him. "When this monster strikes, don't blame me. I warned you." Then came the moment that stopped my heart. Patricia clicked to a photo of Lily smiling beside her decorations. "Look at that evil grin," she shrieked. "This is the face of a killer. Lily Bennett must be arrested for terrorist threats and sentenced to death in the electric chair." The room fell silent. Even Patricia's loyal followers looked horrified. Death penalty? Mrs. Larson gasped. She's a child. Patricia doubled down. She's a menace who deserves to fry for terrorizing us. She called for a vote to report Lily to the police. To my disbelief, half the room people who'd watched Lily grow up raised their hands. Motion passed. Patricia declared smugly. I'll contact the authorities tomorrow. Lily sobbed, barely able to speak. Dad, I just wanted to make something cool. I hugged her tightly. This isn't over, sweetheart. Patricia smirked. Your daughter will pay for her crimes, Tom. I met her gaze. No, Patricia. You're the one who's about to pay. The next morning, Patricia called the police, accusing Lily of terrorism. Officer Daniels arrived, notepad in hand. Ma'am, what's this about a terrorist threat? Patricia pointed to the tombstones. This girl's planning to murder us. That's my husband's name on one. Daniels inspected the yard, shaking his head. These are Halloween decorations, ma'am. Not a crime. Patricia's face reddened. If you won't arrest her, I'll take this to the FBI. She deserves the death penalty. What Patricia didn't know was that she'd soon be standing in my courtroom. That Monday, my clerk, Sarah, knocked on my chamber door. Judge Bennett, a woman's here with an emergency petition about a neighborhood terrorist. I knew who it was. Send her in. Patricia stormed in, dressed in a tailored blazer, clutching a folder of photos. She didn't recognize me in my robes. Your Honor, she began. I'm Patricia Coleman, president of the Willow Creek HOA. A teenager, Lily Bennett, is terrorizing our community with death threats disguised as decorations. I leaned forward, keeping my tone neutral. Tell me more. She spread the photos across my desk. These tombstones and skeletons are proof of her violent intent. She even put my husband's name on one. She's planning murder. I studied the images. These look like Halloween decorations. Patricia slammed her fist on the desk. They're threats. I demand her arrest for terrorism and the death penalty. I raised an eyebrow. You want a 16-year-old executed for decorations? Yes, she snapped. She's a danger to society and should die in the electric chair. I stood slowly. Mrs. Coleman, do you know who Lily Bennett's father is? She frowned. Some nobody named Tom Bennett. What? I removed my glasses. I'm Judge Thomas Bennett. Lily is my daughter. Patricia's face drained of color. You're a federal judge? For 20 years. And you just demanded I sentence my own child to death. She stammered. Two didn't know. You also committed federal crimes, filing false reports, perjury, and abusing judicial resources. I pressed the intercom. Sarah, send in Marshal Carter. Patricia panicked. This is a mistake. I was protecting the neighborhood. Marshal Carter entered. Arrest Mrs. Coleman for false reporting, perjury, and judicial abuse, I ordered. As Carter cuffed her, Patricia sobbed. Please, I have a family. I looked her in the eye. You demanded my daughter's death. You'll face the consequences. The FBI launched an investigation into Patricia's HOA ring. They uncovered a trail of false police reports against neighbors' accusations of vandalism, theft, even animal cruelty, all to enforce her petty rules. Her demand for Lily's execution was the final straw. The media pounced. HOA president arrested for demanding teen's death over Halloween decor, blared headlines. Social media dubbed her death penalty pat. Her mugshot became a meme, her arrest video racking up millions of views. Willow Creek reeled. An emergency HOA meeting ousted Patricia, electing Mrs. Larson as president. She apologized to Lily, and the HOA funded counseling to help her heal. Neighbors who'd voted against Lily came to our door, ashamed. We were wrong, Mr. Alvarez said. Patricia manipulated us. Lily, ever gracious, forgave them. Federal prosecutor Emily Rivera took Patricia's case. She's facing up to 30 years for multiple felonies, Emily told me. Her demand for Lily's execution is indefensible. Patricia's high-priced lawyers refused her case, forcing her to take a public defender. 3 months later, she stood in my colleague Judge Laura Thompson's courtroom to plead guilty. I recused myself but attended as Lily's father. Patricia, now a shadow of her former self in an orange jumpsuit, whispered, guilty, to charges of false reporting, perjury, and judicial abuse. Lily gave a victim impact statement, her voice steady but emotional. Mrs. Coleman called me a terrorist and said I should die for my Halloween decorations. I just wanted to make kids smile. Now I have nightmares. I spoke next. Patricia didn't just attack my daughter. She weaponized the justice system to destroy a child. That's unforgivable. Judge Thompson sentenced Patricia to 12 years in prison and $500,000 in restitution. You abused your power to target a teenager, she said. Your cruelty demands accountability. Patricia collapsed, sobbing, as marshals led her away. Prison was brutal for Patricia. Inmates, learning of her crimes, made her life hell. She spent years in solitary for her safety, writing us desperate letters for forgiveness. We tossed every one. Her husband, John, divorced her, taking their home and assets. Her adult daughters cut contact, publicly denouncing her. She's a monster, one said. We're done with her. Lily, meanwhile, soared. She graduated valedictorian and earned a full ride to Yale Law School. Inspired by her ordeal, she founded the Lily Bennett Foundation to protect kids from adult abuse. Today, she's a leading civil rights attorney, arguing landmark cases before the Supreme Court. Her Halloween decorations are enshrined in a First Amendment exhibit at the National Museum of American History. Patricia served 10 years before release on probation at 65. Broken and penniless, she lived in a halfway house, working low-wage jobs. Her infamy followed her Google searches still surfaced her viral disgrace. Years later, I saw her in a grocery store, frail and defeated. Judge Bennett, she whispered. How's Lily? She's Dr. Lily Bennett Carter, a renowned lawyer with a family, I said. You tried to ruin her. You failed. Tears streamed down her face. I'm sorry. I destroyed myself. I nodded. You did. And you'll carry that forever. Patricia died at 70, alone in a dingy apartment, her heart giving out under the weight of regret. Her obituary was brief. Patricia Coleman, 70, died alone. Her legacy is one of cruelty. Only a landlord attended her funeral. Lily's life, by contrast, is a beacon. Married to a pediatrician, she has 2 kids who adore Halloween, decorating fearlessly. Her foundation has helped thousands of children. At her Yale graduation, she spoke words that still echo. A woman tried to destroy me for being creative. She failed because justice and compassion are stronger than hate. I dedicate my life to ensuring no child faces that again. Willow Creek's HOA, under new leadership, became a model of community support. Patricia's story remains a warning. Power abused brings ruin. Lily's triumph proves resilience and justice prevail.